Hello and good evening, and welcome once again to Better Than Before, live on Facebook in the Ecuadorian evening. Where you are, it may not be evening, but it is for me. So this is my frame of mind, my evening frame of mind, and I do this every evening to talk about communicating and relating and mindfulness and the things that go into making our relationships and connections work or not work, as the case may be. And tonight, I'd just like to speak briefly about a thing that makes relationships not work and even life not work. And that is an inability or refusal or unwillingness to speak up for yourself. Some people find representing themselves, speaking up for themselves, extremely difficult. They have what could be diagnosed as anxiety disorders or social anxiety or fear or extreme shyness and timidity. But whatever it is, wherever they are, they do their thing and they do it as well as they can, but they have great difficulty saying what they need, connecting, forming part of a team, relating, and saying what they want. As a result, they are largely and perhaps unfairly ignored because it's really only by communicating that human beings know how to connect. Yes, body language counts. Yes, other ways of interacting count. We can text, we can email, we can use other more quiet, subtle, personal forms of communication. But in spite of the digital age in which we live, looky here, look what I'm doing. I'm talking to you. There always comes a point where human beings want to hear a voice, and where hearing a voice has much more impact than other forms of communication. In the workplace, for example, yes, maybe it's good to leave an email when you can't find a way to leave another form of message. But the moment will come when you have to talk to your coworkers. You can't dodge it forever. If you do, you're not representing yourself well. People will feel that they don't really know you, they don't really know what you think, and because they know you're not going to say anything, your opinion, your needs, your wants, your productive input can be passed over because you're not going to say anything about it. They know this about you, and they ignore you. And when it comes time for additional responsibilities, when it comes time for raises, when it comes time for leadership opportunities, you just aren't in the running. It may have nothing to do with your intelligence, your diligence, your loyalty, your determination. But if you do not speak at work, you will not advance. The impact of this in something like public relations or sales or outreach or finding customers, finding clients, and in any profession like coaching, for example, which I'm in, where you have to talk to people. If you hold back, you are, in essence, making yourself absent. You must speak to the people around you. This is also true at home. People who are very reluctant to speak, yes, there's this sort of myth of the strong, silent type. But that silence will break your relationship over time. Your loved one needs to hear from you. They need to hear from you about that you care about them, that you care about your family, and they need to know that you care about things. Or it's like living with nobody. Nobody gets married so they can live alone. Nobody gets married so they can never hear from the other person. You may be reserved and well-controlled and somewhat silent in other areas of your life, but when you get into the private space at home, your loved ones need to hear from you. They need to hear that you care. You can't leave them guessing. The silent treatment is also extremely destructive. If you don't say what your needs are, you can't expect to have those needs met. Your needs may not be met even if you do say what they are, but you've got to get it out on the table because no one can read your mind. The idea that you can just do what you do and people will somehow guess what it is that you want them to do in return is not a functional way to live in a family. This can only produce bitterness, disappointment, aggravation. If you want your relationship to work, you have to speak up for it. You have to say what you want. Doesn't guarantee you'll get it. Shouldn't guarantee that you'll get it. What you want may not be what is good for your whole family. But it should at least be up for discussion and consideration. If you're not going to get what you want, you have a right to know the reason why, which is why they too need to speak up. Everybody needs to share information. No one has a right to monopolize the whole conversation. But you've got to get your opinions, your feelings, your wants out there so they can be discussed. Families where this doesn't happen struggle. Sometimes they break apart. So to wrap this whole thing up, success in life, to a very great extent, depends on your willingness and ability to express yourself assertively. And as I said before, assertively doesn't mean aggressively mowing other people down. It means honestly and fairly representing your position and listening honestly, fairly, openly to the positions of others so that problems can be solved in a way that is the best possible compromise for everybody involved. Failure to do this will guarantee failure. You have to be involved. You have to expose yourself. Silence is golden. But it is not golden for you. There are times when silence is very precious. Late at night, when you're trying to sleep, that's a good time for silence. Silence is golden then. The rest of the time, speaking up, sharing information, just sharing in general, will make your world connect and life work for you. So have a great evening. Be sure to connect, be sure to speak up, and I'll be back again tomorrow talking about relating and communicating and being mindful once again for better than before. I'm Dave Edelstein. Be sure to like and share this thing if you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.